Donald Trump, even before we got to Tuesday, had already filed multiple lawsuits challenging what was going on with the election, with the early voting. And now I think it's pretty safe to assume we're going to see a lot more lawsuits from Donald Trump. And that's not just me predicting that. On election day yesterday, you had hundreds of members of the Bar Association at the federal, state, and local levels across the country sign on to a letter warning any lawyer filing a frivolous election challenge lawsuit that they may in fact be jeopardizing their future. And of course, you could definitely lose your law license over something like this. Here is just a snippet of what they said in this letter that very obviously was directed at Donald Trump and his legal team. They said, quote, "As past presidents of state, local, and national bar associations, this flurry of litigation compels us to remind the profession and the public the courtroom is not a theater for unsubstantiated claims. When lawyers file a lawsuit, we are duty-bound to ensure it is based on solid facts backed by law and free from any intent to harass or waste the court's time. A baseless lawsuit not only squanders judicial resources, but also undermines the public's trust in our democracy and our profession. Filing election-related lawsuits without a solid factual and legal foundation endangers the very institutions lawyers are oath-bound to defend. In a functioning democracy, lawsuits are not weapons to spread distrust. They are tools for justice. Lawyers who disregard these standards risk not only their careers, but also the credibility of the entire legal system, weakening the democracy we are sworn to protect. As legal professionals, we must hold ourselves to the highest ethical standards to avoid a repeat of these events. With this election, we call on our colleagues to remember our duties as lawyers and as guardians of the rule of law." Now, pretty obvious again who they're talking to. They are talking to any lawyer in this country that is stupid enough to sign their name on a lawsuit that Donald Trump wants them to file to challenge the election results. And don't get me wrong, there will be plenty of these lawyers. Hell, he already has lawyers that have done it. And there will be more. I'm sure Alina Habba will be dumb enough to slap her name on one of these lawsuits. The problem is, none of these lawyers have any sense whatsoever. Because it's not just about, okay, we're going to file the lawsuit, but we know we're going to lose. We know we don't have the facts. It's that none of them that have already done it or that will be doing it in the next few days, none of them have looked at what happened to everybody else who did it back in 2020. You look at every one of those lawyers and you tell me which one of them got a happily ever after, right? Did Rudy Giuliani? No, Rudy Giuliani didn't. He's facing criminal charges in 2 separate states. He's been disbarred in Washington, D.C. and New York City. Kenneth Chesbrough, he also had to plead to charges in Georgia, and he just had his law license revoked last week. Jenna Ellis, sanctioned, put on probation, and of course, pleading to criminal charges. Sidney Powell, John Eastman, also losing his law license. I mean, do none of these names ring a bell for any of these lawyers that are going to be filing these lawsuits? Are those people living their best lives right now? The answer, of course, is no. They are going through hell, a hell that really, for most of them, hasn't even actually begun yet. So, just a word of warning, if you're a lawyer, if you're thinking about taking on Donald Trump as a client, just remember, it hasn't worked for anybody in the past, but I'm totally sure you will be the exception. Or at least I'm sure that's what you think. Thanks for watching, everybody. And if you're not already, please subscribe to the channel. We got fresh content every day for you. And if you want to follow us across social media, make sure you check out all of the social links that we have posted in the description of this video.